Ooh, that is nothing. Oh my gosh. What is that? Drip, drip, drop.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Michaela Janae, and we back again with another
Banger!
You know you a star, you can touch the sky. I know that it's hard, but you have to try. If you need advice, let me simplify.
So today I have George with me. This is the guy from the fart spray.
G-Money.
Fart spray video.
G-Money.
So we were just talking. People were asking us questions, asking him mostly on Instagram. His Instagram is
G-Money Jr.
His Instagram is George Hines Jr. Go follow him. So people were just asking him about how do you guys handle your long distance relationship. Right now, we are 8 hours,
8.5 hours apart.
Oh, yeah. We were 4 hours away. I moved a little bit further. So now our relationship is still the same. I mean, it's still the same. How do you think it's the same?
It's not the same. It's not even close to being the same. I won't say it's worse. In some ways it's worse, in some ways it's better. And that's kind of what we're gonna get into when we talk about, what our top
surprise
three
to
things
me.
are. Yeah.
I thought it was the same.
Surprise. So for us, our top three things, what we've decided to do was we've went through a lot of different things that we thought were beneficial to our relationship being successful. And I chose my top one. Michaela chose her top one, and then we chose one that we both agree on together. Jinx.
Give me a soda. I don't drink soda.
I said Jinx.
So you should say yummy.
Oh. No, in Jinx, somebody got to say your name 3 times, or else you got to just be quiet all day.
Well, I don't know where you're from, because we say Jinx,
We're
you
from
owe me
the
a
country.
soda.
In the country, if you say Jinx, that means somebody got to say your name 3 times.
And in the city, if you say Jinx, that means you owe them a soda.
That's why I got to get her down here to the country, because they've been teaching her wrong for her whole life.
Anyway, my first thing that I think helps a long distance relationship is communication. I'm not the best communicator when it comes to what?
No.
Oh, I'm not the best communicator. Well, I was not the best communicator when it came to relationships before I met George. I was the type of person, I would have an argument with someone, my significant other, and instead of just addressing the situation at hand, I just brush it on the rug. I tend to forget a lot of things until you get me to that point where I remember everything and it all just
comes cascading down on you.
That's how it was. That's just how I handle relationships. That's how I handle people in general, not just my significant other. It was just people. That's just how I dealt. So I had to realize that communication was the one thing that helped my relationship. So telling him, baby, like when you wake up in the morning, I need to hear good morning. Or him saying, Michaela, when you go out at night, whenever you come in, text me, let me know that you're home safely, because we're hours apart. So that helped our relationship, communication.
And just to that end, like that, one of the bigger issues we had early in our relationship was her just not taking into account how much I needed to know that she was safe. It's like, yo, just send me a text message and say, hey, babe, I'm good. And like, she wouldn't do it. And now there were days I'm like, look, if you can't take a 2-second break to send me a text message, then we got a problem.
But it was hard to do that in the beginning because I came from being single for 5 years. Like, nobody was texting my phone. I wasn't responding to anybody. So being single and being independent on my own, not having anyone to care about, nothing like that.
In the country, they say excuse like a butthole. We all got one.
Well, excuses are tools of the incompetent. That's what we say.
Well,
but I'm not incompetent. It wasn't an excuse.
Well, whatever it was. But for me, my top thing was managing the expectation. Coming from the type of relationships I have been in where proximity was a big deal and you can see people and you can get to them whenever you want to, I had to really sit and figure out, what in the world is going to benefit me in this relationship? Like, what are the positives that I could take away? You want people to know you and you want to know people. And when you have a long distance relationship, you tend to be a little more open about things that you typically wouldn't be open about because you want to create that closeness when you can't get it physically. And what I was able to learn to do was manage the expectations. Like, okay, I may not see her, but one time, maximum twice a month. Because when I met Michaela, I was unemployed and substitute teaching frequently, but it was during the summer. So I was going into a long, extended off season, and she was finishing up her master's degree. So it was just like one task after another, after another, after another. And she's working full time. So for us, it was kind of tough because she was always busy and I wasn't. So I had to really begin to manage the expectation in, bro, she can't be there every turn of the hat. She can't do everything you want. She can't have 10-hour conversations during the day. She's busy. She's making money. And I really had to understand that there were things that she had to prioritize. And it took a lot of maturity in me because I'm used to being the center of attention. And I've grown up a lot.
And the crazy thing is, now the roles have kind of switched. I'm out of grad school and I'm working. And now George is working and he's building a business right now. So he doesn't have a lot of time. And now I'm like, okay, I want to talk to him. I want to call him. I want to talk to him all day. Let's fall asleep on the phone. Let's fall asleep on the phone at night. And he's like, babe, we can't do this all the time. Like, you're taking up time that I can be building my brand and building my business. So the roles have switched. But again, my expectations have changed a little bit.
And then this brings us to our last, but we feel is one of the most important, time and effort. If you aren't willing to do the minor things, pay attention to the small details. Like when I wake up in the morning, if I'm one of the things that I used to stay on her about, don't wake up in the morning and spend 30 minutes on Instagram and text me 3 hours later. It's like, no go. I don't know if it's just, I don't know what it is. I want to be a priority in this relationship. If I done saw, and I don't care. I be stalking my girl's IG. I wake up and I'll be like, okay, so she was on Instagram 7 minutes ago. It's 25 minutes later. So what she been doing for that 18 minutes? And then I text her and be like, look, man, don't bother to call me no more for the rest of the year.
He's dramatic, real dramatic. But now what we've been doing now, as soon as we wake up, the first thing we do before Instagram, before we talk about life, anything, we just go into prayer together. That's our morning routine now. We finally figured out, okay, this is what we need to do together so that we're on one accord. So I wake up first, and then he's usually waking up later because he works early morning shifts. Early morning shifts. So whenever I get up at 6:30, when I'm driving to work around 6:30, I call him, we go ahead and pray, and then we talk about our lives or talk about whatever we want to talk about. So that's how we spend our time now. What else you want to say about effort?
Tell them how you used to get on me about not checking on how your day was going.
Oh my God. So I'm spoiled. Like, I want to be spoiled. I want you to ask questions. George never asked how my day went. I would say, babe, how was your day? And I just sit there quiet after he's done telling me how his day is, hoping that he's going to ask me, like, how was your day? George never asked me. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I want to feel like I'm wanted and he wants to know about my life. So now he does it. Does he care about it? I don't know. Do you care?
I care.
Because I care.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know that song. But the thing for me is,
nothing.
It's just like we have different mindsets about life, and it's just like I know how your day went, like. But
you don't.
I know.
He doesn't always know.
I don't know. In my mind, though, I'm just like, all right. I know you went to work from 9 to 5. You saw your patients. You work at a decent. You know what I'm saying? You got a great job. I know how your day went. I ain't got to ask you about that. That's a waste of time. Let's jump into things that are unexpected or things that we're planning. But I had to be willing to sacrifice what I think I know and let go of that pride and I guess
and put in the effort.
And put in that effort because it's those types of things that really begin to make the difference for your long-term relationship. So again, the first one is communication. You got to be willing to communicate. You got to be transparent and you got to understand why it's important. Secondly is managing expectation. You got to know what you're going to be getting at this particular time. You got to know what you're supposed to be giving and how they view it. And lastly is the time and effort. You got to put the time in to understand the efforts that are going to be required for your relationship to work. Because when we're talking long distance and you only get to see each other once, maybe now we're one time a month. And we're so busy when we see each other because we're having to plan the travel arrangements that we don't have time to waste. Mm-hmm. So we really have to be very deliberate about our actions and our choices. Very intentional. That's a better word. We have to be very intentional about what we're doing and why we're doing it and where we are heading. And that's all we got.
That's all we gotta say. So if you guys want more content on about relationships, I mean, we're still learning this. We're not experts by any means. We're still in the dating phase. So if you guys need some more insight on that, want anything about those things, just let me know. Leave a comment down below. Hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel.
Subscribe to
Turn
my
your
channel,
notifications
to my
on so
baby's
that
channel.
turn your notifications on so that you can see every time I drop a video. And until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Peace.